Hello and welcome to Trading 5 Talents. In this video, I want to go over the final results for the 10-2-7 Iron Condor strategy. So if you've been following the channel for the past several weeks, I've been testing different Iron Condor strategies and then naming them just so I can keep track of them. 10 referring to the delta of the short strikes, 2 referring to the width of the wings of the Iron Condor, and then 7 referring to how many days until expiration. So I introduced this concept in a previous video, but what this particular strategy does, the 10-2-7 version, is it's going to take all of the good stuff that I found from my previous iterations of this strategy and then also remove anything that would be a disadvantage to this strategy. So basically, I'm just trying to optimize an Iron Condor strategy that can be profitable and consistent in the long run. Now with the daily expirations for SPY options, I'm entering each day, but I'm going to be skipping the big 5 Fed events. And I made a video on what those events are and how you can find them, so you can avoid them if needed. But I'm going to be doing that with the 10-2-7 during my testing. I also want to enter for approximately a 30-cent credit, and that's what I've been finding. Sometimes it's a little less depending on the volatility, but you get about $30 credit when you enter each of these Iron Condors, and then I'm going to exit when one of 2 conditions are met. The first condition is 50% max profit, so I would enter for about $30 and then exit for profit at around $15. The other exit point is when I'm losing, and I'm going to exit when I lose 100% of the credit that I received. So if I received a $30 credit, I'm going to exit at $60. Therefore, I have a $30 net loss. So the risk to reward ratio is 2-to-1, either lose $30 or win $15. All right, so here is the testing period. This is December 6th or December 5th, I believe, all the way until December 29th. So you can see what SPY has been doing. I mean, from the beginning to the end of the testing period, it hasn't moved that much in terms of like net movement, but there are a lot of gaps and choppiness during this testing period. So I've already identified the big 5 events that I want to avoid, and according to the economic calendar, they occurred on these dates and at these times. So the producer price index, the inflation report, and then the FOMC minutes, and that FOMC event also had the Fed's interest rate decision. So those are the ones that I want to avoid during my testing. And if I'm in a position, I would exit before those events occurred. So my first Iron Condor was a loser. As you can see, it's shaded red. Again, top and bottom of the rectangle are my short strikes. Left is when I enter. The right side of the box is the expiration. And so I exited right here, and this is because I had to exit for a loss. Second one was right here, and I'm exiting right before this event, as you can see in the arrow. Okay, the third Iron Condor was also a win for a small gain, but I'm exiting before this event. The next Iron Condor happened after the first event, but before the second event, and it was a loser, but it's not because of that big gap up. It's because, I believe, of the increased volatility leading to that event, the inflation data. And so that pushed the Iron Condor premiums higher, even though I was well within range. That volatility increased the premiums. So I exited before the market closed because the inflation report was going to come out market open the following day. So I had to exit that one for a small loss as well. So the next 2 events occurred within a day of each other. So I didn't enter my next Iron Condor until after the FOMC minutes and the Fed's interest rate decision. So that would be way over here. So I was skipping several of those days. And even though there was a gap down right here, a gap up, and another gap down with another large move, everything stayed within range. However, I was able to exit this for a profit right here, approximately 3.5 days into the trade. The next was right here, I exited at the same time as I exited my previous Iron Condor. I think there was just a decrease in volatility, and that allowed me to get that 50% max profit very quickly. And with that decrease in volatility, you could see with this next trade, You could see how the strikes, both the upper call strike, the lower put strike, those are both lower than what I entered the day before, and this is because of the shrink of that volatility. And you could see that these iron condors are narrower than the previous one. I was able to exit this one for a win right here, right after market open with that gap down. And then similarly, I had this trade going on the following day, and I was able to exit at the same time for a win. Again, all 50% max profit. The next was a losing trade, and because of that gap down, though, I had to exit way down here. So I took the loss on that one because it was moving down towards my short put strike. It didn't touch it, but I exited before it touched. And then my final trade was right here, and that was also a winner. I was able to exit again about 3 days into the trade. So 10 trades, 3 of them being losers, and then 7 of them being winners. So let's take a look at the numbers to see how all this played out. Right, this is the 10-2-7 Iron Condor strategy data sheet, and you can see I listed every trading date here in this first column. And then when I entered the trade, obviously it has all that trade data, but these are the ones that I skipped because of the binary events that were occurring. So in this testing phase, I just, again, had 10 trades, 70% win rate. I only made $13 throughout the whole thing. Obviously, that's a very small amount, especially doing 10 trades, but I'm very optimistic about this particular strategy. So let's take a look at just some of the data right here. So you could see these 2 or 3 losses, minus 28, minus 11, minus 24. It's this one right here, this minus 28, and this one over here, the minus 24, is when I actually took the full loss that I was anticipating, and that is 100% of the credit received. I received about, in this case, I received $28. So when I was negative $28, I exited. I received $24 on this trade. And so when I was negative $24, that's when I exited. Everything else is about 50% max profit. So all of these trades preceding the binary events seem to not do very well. I was able to exit these before the PPI reports came out. But again, they're just very small gains, but they count as a winner. So that's why the profit and loss isn't, that impressive, because I was only making $5 or $1 per Iron Condor. So the ranges are still very good. They're very wide in this Iron Condor strategy. So I think that's a good thing we have going for it. The entry prices, you can see right here, they're averaging around $30, so 29 cents, $29, the average entry price. I'm holding them anywhere from 1 to 5 days, even though it's a 7 DTE, so I'm able to exit them pretty quickly. So it's really this data set that I'm interested in, because this happened, in between major, binary event seasons. So it's after all the December reports, but it's before all the January reports. This worked really well. So I think I can optimize it just by skipping these binary events. It really turns this thing into something that I think can be really consistent. So overall, I think this is a pretty good strategy. So let me go back to the conclusions, and then we'll wrap this one up. All right, my overall conclusion is I think that this strategy will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test another 10 trades to verify. And the reason I want to test 10 more trades is because, one, a bigger data set is going to be, I think, more reliable. Secondly, I was in a binary event season at the beginning of this testing, and then I had pretty consistent winners when I wasn't in that binary event season. But coming into the beginning of January, there's another binary event season, and I want to be able to test it again just to see how true this profit margin is in the environment of these different binary events. So I'm going to test another 10 trades, or probably more, just to see how it really works. Once again, there's a wide profit range because of these 10 delta Iron Condors, high chance of profit. So if we held to expiration, this would be an 80% chance of profit. If you went back in the video and you looked at all the trades that I had marked out with those rectangles on the candlestick chart, you would notice that all of them by expiration stayed within the short strikes. So that's really good. I mean, that would have been 100% win rate if I would have kept each of them until expiration. So I think the 10 delta is a really good choice. Consistent winners, and then there's a relatively low risk to reward ratio. So we whittled it down all the way all the way down to a 2-to-1, and this is more based on risk management rather than just letting it expire. So we're exiting at a certain point, and we're either for a win or for a loss. So it's relatively low compared to other, option selling strategies. Because we're exiting earlier, 50% max profit, we don't have an assignment risk, or if you're on Robinhood, you don't have an auto close risk. I never had to have any of my iron condors be closed automatically because I was holding them so close to expiration. I was able to get out, again, within 1 to 5 days. And because it avoids binary events, I think this is probably the real key to all of these iron condor strategies. That's why I think this one is going to work really well. Now, here are my concerns still with the iron condor strategy. First of all are the fees, and it's not a personal concern because I'm not paying fees on Robinhood, but for those that are trying to run this strategy on other brokers with commissions, that is going to be a concern because you're entering with fees and you're exiting with fees. So that's really going to eat into your profits. But here's my main concern with an iron condor strategy in general, and that is the event of a catastrophic loss. So yes, we are avoiding binary events, but there are still black swan events, things that we're not expecting, things that are not on an economic calendar or on anyone's calendar for that matter. And if we take a full loss on our iron condor before we can exit at that, that 100% credit received, you're going to lose a lot of money. And so I'm trying to develop a different version of this strategy to answer that particular question. I think all the other pieces are in place for a consistent strategy, but it's just this one thing that that has me concerned a little bit. And so I'm going to try to work on that in some upcoming videos and be able to present that to you as soon as possible. So you want to make sure that you do subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss those. So comparing all of the iron condor strategies to date, we started with the 5 deltas and then we moved to the 10 deltas, experimenting with the ranges of the widths on either side and also the expirations. And this is what we're coming up with. So you can see the profit per $100. This 1027 is only $7.50. So it's in between the 5 and 10 deltas, which I think is still good. But I think what's more important is that the risk management is there and it's a lot better than what it used to be. So now we're down to a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So what are the main considerations for the 1027? Again, it's the fees, and it's not listed here, but it's the catastrophic loss. And I'm going to show that in the next slide, in the next table. But I do want to mention, because this is only the first 10 trades, I'm going to make another video going through the next 10 or so trades. So that will be part 2 of this conclusion. So please subscribe and turn on the notification so you know when that one comes out. Let me add something to this table so you can see what I'm talking about regarding this catastrophic loss. So we're going to use the same data in the table. I'm just going to add a column, and that's going to be right here. So the profit per $100, it's still the same. I just abbreviated P so I can squeeze in the other column, risk to reward ratio. And then this is the loss per $100 of this iron condor strategy, or all the iron condor strategies I've been testing. Look how high they are compared to what you're gaining. So this is what really, has me concerned. Even if we go down to the 1027 down here, you're going to make about $7.50 for every $100 you're using. However, if the market tanks because of some black swan event and you can't get out, when you're losing 100% of your credit, and you can't get out, and cut your losses early, and it just, goes to, one of the sides going, in the money, then you would lose upwards of, $85, $86 for every $100 that you're using. So that right there is kind of scary. And so what I want to do is try to find out if we can keep that same profit, but lower the loss. And I think I may have found a way. But what I want to do first is test another 10 trades to make sure this is consistent. And then I want to move into addressing that particular issue, that catastrophic loss or the catastrophic loss risk issue. So once again, if you have any questions, and leave them down below in the comment section, I'll try to get to them as quickly as possible. And please also click on the like button if you enjoyed this and enjoyed this testing, as well as clicking on the subscribe and turning on the notifications so you can catch part 2, as well as the next iteration on how we can address the catastrophic loss issue. Until next time, trade wisely and take care.